Thank you for staying with us. This is Easy Friday for those joining us right now. Let's proceed. Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua marshaled a total of 14 lawyers in his attempt to save his soul from impeachment in the National Assembly in a historic first for this nation. The impeachment motion, which attracted 28 lawyers, saw Gachagua wing led by Paul Muite face off with the National Assembly wing led by Siaya Governor James Orengo, all trying to convince senators to side with their pleas.
My Lord, we have no doubts whatsoever, the first and second respondents.
It was exactly 7 years ago when Senior Counsel and Siaya Governor James Orengo and Senior Counsel Paul Muite battled before the Supreme Court of Kenya under the then Chief Justice David Maraga.
I was tempted. My colleagues here were prompting me to...
In a historic case, the two attempted to prove to the apex court of their arguments, with the 2017 general election outcome hanging in the balance.
According to the...
Eventually, the Maraga-led bench nullified the election with Orengo alongside his learned friends carrying the day.
I appointed today, Wednesday the 16th of October, and tomorrow, Thursday, the 17th of October 2024, as the days when the Senate will hear the charges and investigate the proposed removal from office by impeachment of His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua, EGH, the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya.
7 years later, the two once again found themselves in another historical moment where they were expected to make their case on the political career of Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua.
Your Excellency Rigathi Gachagua, how do you plead to ground one, guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
Even before the opening remarks were made before the 67 senators, Senior Counsel Paul Muite raised a preliminary objection against his counterpart James Orengo on the grounds that he is a state officer.
We will be raising an issue about one of the members of the legal team read out this morning as representing the National Assembly.
My learned friend, Senior James Orengo, is a full-time serving state officer as per Article 260 of the Constitution, as read together with Section 26, subsection 2 of the Leadership and Integrity Act, which bars a full-time state officer from engaging in meaningful employment.
There has been no assertion that learned Senior Counsel James Orengo, by representing a party before this House, has participated in gainful employment. In any case, what evidence has been tendered before this Honorable House to speak to that fact?
However, the Speaker of the Senate, Amason Kingi, allowed the Siaya governor to represent and lead the National Assembly's case.
And I read, that is from the King James Version. Ye shall not afflict any widow or fatherless child, and my wrath shall wax hot, and I will kill you with the sword, and your wives shall be widows.
This honorable House, perhaps you can give us an opportunity to go through these documents, because we need to go through them. Inaonekana kama hii ni ukarabati, but let's go through it. Perhaps, if you agree, Mheshimiwa Speaker, perhaps we can get on with the first prosecution witness giving evidence, and as soon as we've gone through this, then we shall come back to you, Mheshimiwa Speaker.
Once the statement was finalized, the proceedings for the next 48 hours proved to be a titanic legal and political battle.
That he tried to talk to doctors or physicians who are looking after his own brother After this visit, he walked away. And 7 days later...
Mr. Speaker, I rise to raise an objection.
Can you proceed?
Mr. Speaker, we owe the Deputy President very elementary decency. We owe it to the Deputy President to be basically decent in these proceedings.
This was evident once the mover of the motion, Kibwezi West Member of Parliament Mwengi Mutuse, took to the stand to expound on his 11 charges he levelled against the second in command.
And the counsel is talking to the witness, and you can see he's actually answering the question. He's a junior colleague. He's engaged in extremely unethical behavior that should not be done in a small claims court. Forget about a country's Senate. You've seen it with your own eyes.
Counsel for the Deputy President. I cannot hear exactly what was exchanged there.
Mr. Mutuse, Honorable, I sought to know whether the people you respect, the people who elected you, do you suspect they will respect you with this behavior you are showing here?
Mr. Speaker, I will also request for your protection because the people of Kibwezi are not on trial.
I didn't try the
Counsel for the Deputy President, just stick to the subject matter.
Mr. Speaker, we seek that our witness not be subjected to barbs or badgering. The question whether he respects or the people respect him and whatnot. The allegation is clear in black and white. If we could stick to that, it would help. So, Honorable Mutuse, what do you have to tell the Senate of the fact a company that was in arrears for 4 years, that is 5 million, it is in distress, it's not in operation. The Deputy President shows interest and suddenly it is able to pay these arrears of that 5 million.
The Deputy President must be magical. Associating with the Deputy President must be very magical because you have not operated for over 4 years, you are in debt, you have not been able to service that debt for 4 years, but you have just interacted with him for a month and you pay your debt overnight.
I didn't get the answer.
We have no quarrel with Fortis.
You have no quarrel with Fortis vs Group Limited?
We had none.
What is it doing in this motion, Mr. Mutuse? Decorative.
It is one of the companies associated with His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua.
What is wrong with Fortis vs Limited being associated with Rigathi Gachagua? What is wrong with that?
At the time of submissions, we'll be stating why we think there is something wrong.
No, we want that question answered now so that we will submit on it. What wrong has Fortis vs Group Limited committed anywhere on earth?
Why would one person own 25 companies doing the same things?
What law prohibits a person owning 25 companies? What law?
I think counsel for the Deputy President, the Honorable Mutuse has said he has no quarrel with that company.
Which is what?
Settle it.
You know, Mr. Speaker, I made an opening statement. In my opening statement, I said we have allegations that oscillate from the false to the ridiculous to the embarrassing. If he just answers and I keep quiet, I would fail to demonstrate the oscillation.
Orengo had other prominent lawyers backing him that included Paul Nyamodi, Eric Gumbo, Moses Kipkogei, Muthomi Thiankolu, Peter Wanyama, Meli Kennedy Kipkoech, Joan Jeruto, among others.
She was not even aware of the transaction.
Has she signed or affixed a thumbprint?
A thumbprint.
On the face of it, does that look like a privileged or vulnerable and marginalized Kenyan?
The very vulnerable.
Mr. Speaker, sir, kindly allow me again to bring to the attention of the Assembly that the advocate is leading the witness. He has put a question. Does that, in your own imagination, look like a vulnerable person?
Objection sustained. Counsel for National Assembly, stop leading the witness.
It may be getting hotter, but look at the document, compose yourself, and read. How many shares does Keith Ikinu Rigathi hold according to your own document?
They are not indicated.
How many shares does Kevin Gachagua Rigathi hold according to your own exhibit?
They are not indicated.
What is the total number of shares in that company?
10,000.
Who is indicated as owning all those 10,000 shares?
There's a shareholding by the estate of the deceased James Nderito Gachagua.
It is the estate of the deceased James Nderito Gachagua. True or not true?
They own 10,000 shares.
What is the total number of shareholding?
10,000.
They own all the shares.
They own 10,000 shares.
As a result of non-responsiveness of all the bids, correct? As a result of non-responsiveness.
Yes, after Global Fund differed with the KEMSA Technical Evaluation Committee.
Did the Deputy President have anything to do with that?
I would not say.
Would you associate that to the Deputy President?
I am not competent to talk about that.
I am asking, do you associate that process with the Deputy President?
I cannot comment on that.
You will comment. Do you associate
because
that?
I don't know.
Here we are not in a hospital, we are in a court.
While Muite was backed by Elisha Ogonya, Ndegwa Njiru, Faith Waigwa, Amos Kisilu, Tom Masharia, Swanya Victor Ogeto, John Jomo, George Wandati, George Sakimpa, Andrew Muge, Eric Neibei, Julia Omwamba, and Willis Echesa.
The position, Mheshimiwa Speaker, is that during that period that I went to try to find out why he wasn't here, because as Mheshimiwa Speaker knows, the Deputy President has been coming here absolutely punctually every day. The sad reality is that the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya has been taken sick, very sick, and as I address Mr. Speaker in this honorable House, Senators, he is in hospital, Mheshimiwa Speaker.
It would be useful to this House if Senior Counsel Paul Muite could probably give us a way forward in terms of the time limitation that the Senate has. I'm saying this because we don't want somebody to say that the Deputy President was not given an opportunity to be heard. I think the Senate would want him to be heard. But knowing the time limitation, what suggestions does the Senior Counsel have to ensure that we keep within the time parameters? At the same time, the Deputy President is given his space to defend himself.
We expect the Deputy President then to take the witness stand at 5. This is a time-bound process, unfortunately. It is so ordered.